Hello everyone, this is Jeff Byers, instructor for NE150, Introduction to 3D Modeling and Game Art. So I'm excited to teach this course, and the first thing you're going to see in Module 1, I'm under assignments, not under modules, so that's the first thing, is go to assignments, and you'll see that if you do go to assignments, I've got it structured in a way that it's per module. And I do a module every week. I do not open modules up ahead of time, so once you get a module done, then you'll go on to the next module, and then the next, and the next. And they build on each other. As you can see, that we've got modeling a low poly and high poly food can, part 1 and part 2. And you guys can look at what's next and see what's coming up. But they will only open up once a week, just so we can keep people from getting ahead and trying to get through everything as fast as they can, and that actually degrades your work quality quite a bit when you're racing through stuff trying to get everything done. So the idea now is to do weekly assignments, open them up every week, and I'll take you through the whole process here. Module 1, just click on that one and you'll see that we open it up. And you can see that I do not use, please do not use Canvas to contact me. That's also in the syllabus, because the Canvas tends to put things in the trash or in clutter, and I don't get it right away. So if you want to contact me, please use the JCC email accounts that we have. I'll do the same, and it's jbyers3@jcc.edu, so make sure that you contact me through that way of communication. I prefer that. Please check your emails often, your JCC account, and I will be checking my emails Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 9 a.m., 12:30 p.m., 3 p.m., 6 p.m., and 9 p.m. So there won't be a time or an issue where you won't be able to get a hold of me. I will respond. I've actually been given 24 hours to 48 hours to respond to emails, but I won't wait that long. Usually I tell students that it'll be 1 to 2 hours before I respond, which is a really good response time. And if I'm also giving my cell number out, so you can text me that you sent an email. So let's say at 9:30 you have a problem. Well, I won't check my emails until 12:30, but if you text me, I will get that text, and then I'll look for your email at this location. So please feel free to do that. I will not respond to phone calls, meaning that if you try to call me, unless we set up a time to talk, that's not going to happen. I usually screen all my phone calls, but I want you to text me to let me know to read your email, okay? And we'll get to that as soon as possible. All right. Another thing I need to bring up is that I cannot help you fix your software problems or fix your hardware issues, because that's out of my realm. There's no way I can help you with that. Now, when it comes to Maya, that's my area of expertise. So if you have a direct problem or issue with Maya, meaning that if you're modeling something and you run into an issue with the tool, or you don't know what tool to use, or something happened with your model, that's my area of expertise, and that's where I can help you. Otherwise, you'll need to contact the software developer, or any hardware specialist that you need to get your computer up and running. Now again, I hate to say this kind of stuff, but you're responsible for your software and hardware issues. I'm responsible for the content and the learning that goes on this online course. So make sure you try to remember that when you ask me questions. Now you can email me and ask me my advice. What would be your advice for this? I'm having this issue with my video card. What should I do? I don't mind you asking me that. I can say, well, my advice would be that you need to update your graphics drivers, or you need to update your Windows 10 drivers, or whatever you need to do to update and install to get up and running. A lot of times if you have an error with something, you can usually type that error into the search engine, and usually something comes up right away. Okay, let's get right on to the fun stuff, because don't want to get you all dragged out with the software and hardware issues, and unfortunately you will have some issues if you have an older system. That can't be helped. So just be aware of that. So again, to keep you kind of grounded with how long it takes to learn a new program like Maya, is that each module will take about 8 to 14 hours, so make sure that you schedule yourself, so you give yourself that time. So this isn't, I don't want this to be a frustrating learning experience for you. In fact, I want the opposite. I want it to be a wonderful experience for you, and hopefully you can get past the frustrating parts of just getting Maya loaded and running. So after that, I'm going to take you through, hopefully in a succession of learning. So you'll learn one thing, and then you can build upon that skill level and learn something else. So we keep it slow. Each module will be something different, and you will keep adding to that skill level. So my introduction video will be here, obviously, which is kind of weird because I'm making it right now. And again, I tell you to please watch this video. Always watch your introduction videos, because it'll have some really good information. Obviously, the information I'm giving you now, I won't repeat every single time, so these introductions will be shorter, hopefully, and I'm sure you'll appreciate that. Module assignments. Well, module assignments, as you can see, they start exactly the same time all the time. Otherwise, it would be very frustrating to have to try to memorize different dates and everything. So every Monday a module will open. Okay, every Monday. Okay, so if you start with module 1, that opens on Monday, 9 o'clock in the morning, and it will end at 11:59 p.m. And discussions open up every Monday. Okay, and then your initial response, your first response, will be due on that following Wednesday, so Monday, then 2 more days, and then you have to make sure by 11:59 you have your initial response. And then you have until Sunday, that following Sunday, to respond to 2 other people. Okay. Quizzes will open on Friday, okay, at 9 o'clock in the morning, because you have to learn you have to learn what I've taught you and digest it, and I feel by Friday you're good to go, and I leave that open from Friday until Sunday at 11:59. If you miss between those 2 times, basically that's on you, and you get a 0 for grade. Now, again, this is only worth 10 points, the quizzes, so missing one quiz isn't gonna hurt you too bad. It's missing a bunch of quizzes that can add up. Okay, so again, I know this is a little cheesy, but advice for success. I'm just trying to share with some of the downfalls and pitfalls that I've seen with other students. One of the biggest things that I see is they don't watch the module introduction videos. They skim over all my videos, and they go all the way to the end as fast as they can, and they try to mimic what I'm doing in looking at my images, and it never works. Okay, so the key to your success is to watch the module introduction videos and watch and read all of the information I have in the assignment and my lectures, and read all that stuff, because a lot of your quizzes will pull from that information. So as you're reading, take some notes, and you're able to use those notes for your quizzes. I have no issues with that. And another thing is, do not wait to start your projects. So I had a lot of students that work during the week, which is understandable. They're tired at night. They don't want to do anything but just veg and play their favorite games or watch their favorite shows. But the idea here is not to wait, and you're going to find out that waiting to the last minute to start an assignment for modeling is a bad idea. It's a really bad idea. And you should start the project directly on Monday as soon as you possibly can. Watch the intro video and read as much of the lectures that I have, which will take a couple hours, and then the next day start going through the assignment content and watching my videos and following those. Okay, so you go through the lectures and lesson content progressively through the week. You start building up on your skills, and by the time you get down to actually watching my videos, you're going to feel a little more confident and comfortable doing that. And if you do that, you'll be within the 8 hours instead of the 14 hours. You'll spend a lot more time, if you don't watch the videos and stuff, even longer than 14 hours trying to figure this stuff out. Another thing that's huge is communication. I know a lot of you think, and you've taken a lot of online you've taken a lot of online courses where the instructor will not get back to you within 24 hours. I mean, 24 hours is a killer, because in 24 hours you're already so frustrated you're about ready to pull the rest of your hair out, or do something else, which I don't want to happen. So communication, give me an email, send me an email as soon as you know that you cannot figure something else. Don't wait 1 to 2 days to figure that out. Communication is key to the success in this course. I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can, and that doesn't mean 24 hours. That means 1 to 2 hours at the most. Again, here's the worst thing you can do is please do not wait until Saturday or Sunday to let me know you're struggling with the assignment, or a key aspect of the assignment. Maybe you're missing something, and I can easily say, hey, this is this video, watch this video, this is where it's at, or just tell you what the issue is, or let you know what I can do. Please be proactive and contact me immediately if you run into any issues or have any questions. This is my job. This is what I do. Please do not let your pride keep you from contacting me. And the longer you wait, the more frustrating things will become. And again, I check my emails more frequently than a lot of other instructors, and I know you're probably used to that, and you're used to that frustrating aspect of online, but that's not going to happen. And I'll I can't promise, I'm not going to make any promises, but I'm going to tell you that I've been consistently emailing people back between 1 and 2 hours. Okay? And again, successful students do not procrastinate and wait until the last minute to start an assignment. Last minute meaning Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. If you're doing this and you know you're doing this, you're a procrastinator. Okay? Just, I guess, live up to it, and don't get mad at me for not getting your assignment done on time if you are a procrastinator. Okay? If you like it and that's what you want to do, that will catch up with you someday if it hasn't already. Time management. Manage your time by creating a schedule and assigning time slots during the day for each assignment. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this is because this has happened to me when I was going through school. I had to figure it out, especially with animation. Going through animation courses, you have to have time management, and I manage my time. I had a calendar and daily reports that I made to myself, nobody else, about when I'm going to have stuff done. This is when I'm going to have it done. If I don't have it done, then I can't watch my favorite show that night because I've got to get that done. When I get it done, then I reward myself with watching a show. I know it sounds silly, but it's going to help you. You have to manage your time. Nobody else is going to do it for you. And especially if you live in a household that's absolutely insane. You got brothers and sisters running around, or you got your mom and dad poking their heads in every 5-10 minutes, asking you what the heck's going on, what are you doing? You know, when you're trying to concentrate on getting your work done. You just have to kind of sit down with everybody in your household, if you live with a bunch of people, and say, listen, this is what I have to have done at a certain time. And believe me, hopefully they'll understand. And you might have to put an inside door lock in to keep the riffraff out. I'm just kidding. You don't do that unless you need to. So scheduling time will help you visualize your progress too as well. So I would write down exactly what I need to have done, and then I would visually look at it and say, hey, I got that part done. This is great. Now I have time to play my favorite game, or I have time to watch my favorite show. Okay? So time management is key, also key to success as well. And that will carry having good time management skills now will help you in the future getting your stuff done on time. So I'm sorry for that little kind of went off a little bit on that, but I want everybody to succeed. All right, so the next thing is students are required to check their email account, just like I'm required to check my email account. Nobody's told me to check it 5 or 6 times a day, but I do. But I recommend you guys checking your student email accounts at least twice a day, once in the morning, once at night, so you don't miss anything, because I do have Canvas announcements either every day or every other day that keeps you up to date on what's happening and any issues other students are having. A lot of times, if you have an issue and I feel like other students would like to hear about it, I go ahead and I don't publish what you said. I just kind of, what I do is I take what the issues you had and any information that you pass on to me, I try to pass on to other students, and that's how I do it, through Canvas announcements. So look at those in the morning and at night, or during the day, whatever you want to do. Alright, the software issue. Here we go. Software used. We don't use all of these pieces of software every day. The ones that we do use, every single module is going to be Autodesk Maya 2020, Substance Painter, Photoshop. I know in my video, it's because I think the summer course, I took that from the summer course, saying that you don't have to have Photoshop. Well, you kind of do have to have Photoshop. So you can get GIMP. Now that's an option for you guys, instead of Photoshop as GIMP. XNormal, that's free and it's not very big, and go ahead and grab it. Get that loaded. Like I said, that's something we're not going to use all the time. And then Autodesk Mudbox we don't use all the time, but it's nice to have to add some detail to our high poly models. So I prefer ZBrush. Believe me, if I could get away with having you guys use ZBrush, but it's not free, unfortunately. Mudbox is free. If you can afford to get a subscription to ZBrush, go for it, because that's industry standard. But because Autodesk owns Mudbox and Maya, I'm going to be going through the process of doing it in Mudbox, okay? But honestly speaking, I use ZBrush, which I love, and that's what I use. In fact, I don't know, I used Mudbox, and I can be dangerous in Mudbox, but ZBrush is what I use. I'm going to open it up now for you to give you kind of a look at what it is, what it looks like. It's absolutely amazing, and they've got some really cool advancements. ZBrush by far is probably the most intense, crazy software I've ever owned. I love Maya, and I think of ZBrush as that final touch that I like to bring my models from Maya into ZBrush, and then add that special detail to it, and ZBrush allows me to do that. So it's really an amazing piece of software. If you ever have a chance to get it, it is expensive. I'm not even sure how expensive the subscription, but I own it, and I love it, and I think it's a great product, and you'll learn more and more about it, hopefully. But unfortunately, I can't make you buy it just to take this course, because that would be crazy. So anyway, so that's what I use. Mudbox is kind of its poor brother, so it doesn't even live up to some of the standards that the industry is really needing right now, but it'll get us by for what we need to do, and gives you a little taste of sculpting and all that stuff. So we're going to be using Mudbox. It's free. So the Photoshop is the big one. You can get it for free for 30 days. We all know that. But that goes up pretty quickly, especially when you have 15 weeks you got to kill, right? So 15 weeks, there's no way. So you're going to either pay for a subscription, and I think students can get if you're a student, which you are, can get that for a reduced price. Okay, it's well worth it, you know. And I never thought I'd ever say that about Adobe products, but Photoshop is definitely industry standard, so you need to have that. Do you need additional help? Here's some additional help that you might need. Again, this is a longer video than usual, but Autodesk Maya 2020, you can click on that. In Maya 2020 system requirements, you can click on that. That's really important to know what your system requirements are, because you're probably banging your head against the wall trying to figure out why Maya doesn't work. So after finding your system requirements, and if you meet those, that'll give you an idea what you need to fix or figure something else out. Substance Painter. Here's a site that will help you with additional help. Photoshop, XNormal, and Autodesk 2020. I think Mudbox 2020, I think that covers all the software that we're going to be using for this course. I know that sounds like a lot, but unfortunately, most of, if not all of the software is used in the industry to create the game art content. Either it's Maya or 3ds Max, and Substance Painter is industry standard. Mudbox, I wouldn't say it's industry standard, but it's a nice side sculpting tool that's free. ZBrush is definitely industry standard. Photoshop is industry standard, and XNormal is used by the indie crowd for creating game art assets, and you can use it too to play. I'm going to play around with it a little bit. It's free and it's very small. I think it's like 64 megabytes. So overview, module 1. In this module you'll be learning about the user interface by creating a low poly and high poly food can model. Very cool. And objectives, you can investigate the Maya's UI interface. You'll learn how to manipulate primitives, analyze anatomy of a polygon, explore hotkeys and marking menus, and we're going to learn the difference between a high poly model and low poly model and why we use them in game engines, and the game development structure and game creation workflow. You're also going to learn how to model a simple low poly model and a high poly food can, and learning the tools to get that done. By the time you're done with this module, you should be able to navigate Maya's UI. You won't know everything, right, about the user interface, but you're going to get closer and closer to doing that. You're going to learn how to create and manipulate primitives, and you're going to demonstrate the knowledge of the anatomy of a polygon. You're going to learn how to use hotkeys and marking menus in an efficient manner, create a high poly and low poly model, and have knowledge in the game development structure and game creation workflow. You're also going to gain knowledge on modeling, texturing, lighting, and rendering. The first assignment, Module 1 course assignment, is the student will model and add materials to a low poly and high poly food can, following the video tutorials. The student will model a simple low poly and high poly food can using references supplied by me, the instructor. The student will import the references into the front and or side view if we have those. We only have the front view available, so we're just going to use that. Student will create a low poly and a high poly model of the food can. The student will add additional details to the food can during the high poly modeling process, following the lesson instruction videos that are provided in this course. Of course, we know the software that's going to be used. We just went through that. Now, here I wrote down GIMP is a free alternative to Photoshop, but is not supported in this class, so the student will need to find relevant tutorials and problem solve out any issues that may arise. So make sure if you do use GIMP, it's on you to figure out how to translate the information I give you in Photoshop into GIMP to get your assignment done. So I have software installation instructions if you need help with that. What is Autodesk Maya? We go through that. What is Substance Painter? Gives you an overview of that. And then our lesson content. So what is a polygon? So watch that video. How do you create a polygon in Maya? You can watch that video. And the UI user interface video tutorials here. Basic skills in Maya. Shaping and positioning objects in Maya. And Maya user interface. That's really super important that you start understanding where things are at. So if we look at this at the top, we see that's the menu sets. And then we have the menu. That's called the main menu bar. Okay, this is the status line that you see here. And so on and so forth. So go ahead and make sure you kind of look at what it is and get familiar with all the areas of the Maya UI. And you're going to have tests, well, no tests, but quizzes over all this stuff later. Also, we'll have to understand and learn the Maya 1 key shortcuts, so look at those. Okay. We have, this is my lesson lecture. Make sure you read that. And the first quiz will be over these 2 pieces right here. The first quiz will. And the Module 1 course assignment, again, you guys can read all of that stuff, and then it's time to start going into your assignment. So your course assignment, Lesson 1, and these are lessons that I take you through. I'm going to provide you with that food can. Please make sure you check it out here. I'm going to place it right between these 2 right here, and so make sure you download that. Okay, that'll be your image that you need for the background. And then we take you through the process of modeling your low poly and your high poly, and then the very last one is that your ability to save out your work and render out the wireframe and all that other thing, all the other stuff that you need to know. And as you go along, make sure you save your projects along the way. Save every 5 to 10 minutes. I would suggest you doing that. And so make sure that you keep on track with that. And then at the very bottom, congratulating you on that you got it finished. And then how do I grade you? So again, we've got to keep, normally I don't like the fact that some instructors give you a 0 if you're late. So I understand that since you're learning, that this is really, really important that if you have if you're late, that your penalty, you do have a penalty, and it's 4 points per day. So the first time that you're late, it's 4 points. That means after 11:59, it could be 12 o'clock. That's 4 points off. And then after a day, 24 hours goes by, it's another 4 points, and so on and so forth. So just make sure you understand that after 10 days, out of 40 points, it's a 0. Okay? Alright. Don't let it go that far. Alright, so I'm basically grading on the fact that you turned in your high poly and low poly as an MB, FBX, and an OBJ file. Of course, I show you how to do all that. And in here also, you need to make sure that you read all of the grading rubrics, how I'm going to grade you. And you can see that I put a small amount of points on any modeling errors and n-gons and non-manifold geometry. Obviously, if you're watching my videos, your work will be fine, right? If you go on your own, that's when these points will probably be taken away, and you start seeing some errors. Okay, so watch the videos and follow them exactly. Now, the way I would recommend that you watch the videos is that you start the video, watch the first 5 minutes, and then go back to the beginning and start it again, and then pause it, and then work with it with Maya open. Watch the video, pause it, and do what I just did on the video, and then do that back and forth, and you'll get through it. Okay, that's what I would recommend. Don't watch the video too long and then try to do it and recreate that in Maya. Watch a little bit of it and then recreate it. Watch a little bit and then recreate it. And that's what I would do. I know that sounds silly for me to tell you that, but there's a lot of students that I watched them work, and they watched too much of the video, and then by the time they try to translate it over to Maya, they've already forgotten what I've done, and then they start making huge mistakes. So, so when you see me do something, pause it, and then go ahead and try it, and see. And I think that'll work best for you. Alright, so the turn-in instructions are here. Obviously, I have them in written format as well, but the instructions are here as well. So you have both of those to fall back on. If you have questions about something or see an error here, let me know right away. I usually try to correct things as fast as I possibly can, and then let you guys know what the error was, and I corrected it. This speaks for itself. I'll let you guys look at that. But here are my examples that what you're going to be turning in. Okay, so look at those. Anyway, I wish the best of luck for your first week, and I hope you guys have a great week and enjoy the assignment. And we start off slow, and then it revs up pretty quickly. Again, a food can is pretty simplistic, but you get all the techniques that you need and learn all of the production pipeline from start to finish on a fairly simple object, which I think is important. So hopefully you learn all those skills, and you're going to basically go through the entire production pipeline, which is right here, the workflow, which is concept art or reference art, to high-res model, refine, low-res model, laying out UV, baking maps, texturing, and presentation. Now obviously, for Module 1, I break it up into two sections. One section is basically going from reference art, creating a low-res and high-res, and then that's where we stop. And then Module 2, you can see that we continue that process on. Okay? So the first one is going to be broken up in two main modules. One is for modeling, which is Module 1, and then Part 2, which is Module 2, is taking those models and baking maps and texturing and presentation. So after you get done with Modules 1 and 2, you pretty much have the whole entire workflow down, and we will be following this exact workflow throughout the whole entire semester over 15 weeks. So it's going to be exciting and fun to see how well you guys do. And just stay focused and start on Monday, and don't wait till the last minute, and you guys will be fantastic. You'll do great. You'll do really good. Watch the videos and learn as much as you can. And I'll see you next week in Module 2. Have a great week, and I'll see you then. Bye.